What in the hell is going on over at DC Studios and the Batman? Well, there seems to be some major confusion going on over at DC Studios these days. Kind of an on again, off again kind of thing. And it surrounds James Gunn, the current CEO, co-CEO of DC Studios, and two directors that are currently committed to directing two Batman films under the new DCU that is being overseen by, well, James Gunn. The first being the Batman 2, which as we all know is being directed by Matt Reeves. And then there's Batman Brave and the Bold, a film that for no apparent logical reason whatsoever was handed over to Andy Muschietti to direct shortly after he made the $300 million debacle known as The Flash. It's well known that in April of 2022 it was announced that the highly anticipated The Batman 2, would finally be made. Shortly thereafter, we were told that the film would be released on October 2nd of 2026. In January of 2023, James Gunn himself announced that the live-action film version of Batman Brave and the Bold will be making its way to the big screen. It was announced later in July that Muschietti would be directing it, and it had a release window for sometime in 2027. Just this past September, in an article for Entertainment Weekly, it was reported that Matt Reeves confirmed that the script for the Batman 2 was finished and production was set to start in 2025. Almost immediately when asked about it online, James Gunn debunked that article, saying that while well-intentioned, the article was mistaken. And in an editor's note added to that very same article on December 19th, Gunn, from a post that originated on Threads, stated there hasn't been a first draft of the script. Reeves clarifies he's finishing the script, saying we've given big parts of what we've written so far to DC, and they know what we're doing. 2 days after Christmas, December 27th, it was then reported that the Batman 2 will now be delayed until October of 2027. And a Tom Cruise film will slide into Batman 2 slot instead. The very next day, Gunn, in what seemed a lot like damage control mode, posted on social media that delays are fairly common in sequels, and then used the following analogy with examples to explain why. He stated that, to be fair, a 5-year gap or more is fairly common in sequels. For example, 7 years between Alien and Aliens, 14 years between the Incredibles movies, 7 years between Terminators, 13 years between Avatars, 36 years between Top Gun, and of course 6 years between Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Wow. Now, for one thing, there was never any intention to make a sequel to 1979's Alien. Fox didn't consider one until 1983. And Avatar, James Cameron intentionally waited because the technology didn't even exist at the time to make a sequel the way that he wanted it to be done. And Terminators, okay, I'll give you that. The Incredibles movies, I'll give you that. But the Top Gun films, are you kidding me? And Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Guardians of the Galaxy 3, there's a little thing called the coronavirus that had a bit to do with the delay between those two films. And also maybe because Disney up and fired James Gunn's ass for lewd posts I won't go into that he made in the past on social media. But whatever you say there, little Jimmy, whatever you say. And as if things couldn't get any more confusing over at the new DC Studios, the very same day that it was announced that the Batman 2 would be delayed yet again, Andy Muschietti revealed via a recent California secret podcast that Batman Brave and the Bold has been postponed a bit. Now, you can deduce for yourself what postponed a bit means. But considering Muschietti then went on to say that he could possibly wind up doing another film now before Brave and the Bold because of that delay, you can see how this could possibly be misconstrued as a tad bit, sketchy. Not to mention the fact that directly after Muschietti's comments, Gunn once again put on his damage control cape on X when asked about the coincidence about the two films' timely setbacks, saying that Brave and the Bold hasn't been delayed, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. And also reinforcing the fact that Matt Reeves did not lie about his script being finished and that he said only that it was being finished. I mean, holy batshit crazy, Batman. I mean, just what the hell is going on? Now, logic would imply that this is all part of the rumored plan to maneuver Robert Pattinson's Batman into the DCU. My first real thought that this really could be happening was the Penguin series and Oz's girlfriend, Eve Carlo. She shares the same last name as the original Clayface, Basil Carlo. There had also been rumors early on that Clayface might make an appearance in the Batman 2. Next, shortly after Creature Commandos hit Max on December 5th, on December 11th, we get news of a live-action Clayface film being greenlit for 2025 and slated to debut September 11th of 2026. Just 1 month before, you guessed it, the Batman 2. And then, well, guess who shows up in episode 4 of Commandos? Well, none other than old Dark Knight himself. Albeit just a shadow image of him, but it is Batsy nonetheless. And if you take a close gander at that collar on his outfit, you will notice that it looks an awful lot like Pattinson's. Creature Commandos episode 5 gives us Clayface. And then the Batman 2, well, it gets delayed a full year, and Brave and the Bold is possibly postponed, depending upon who you believe. Coincidence? Sure, maybe. And at first, that's all I thought that it was, just coincidence. But it sure is starting to look like Gunn and company are hitting the brakes and throwing all their chips into the DC blender to try and finally come up with one cohesive DC universe. And even if I don't agree with the move, I can't blame them, really. The DC universe ain't no DC universe without its most popular bankable hero, and that's Batman. I could care less about 49 million views of a 2-minute or so Superman trailer. Without the Dark Knight, the DCU don't mean a damn thing. And speaking of that Superman trailer, if all of the latest rumors are true, and there are quite a few of them, then the buzz on the supposed test screenings James Gunn has given of the film, well, they're not so good. Words like hearing bad things, the buzz, well, it isn't a positive one. Some are saying that the film has the tone of the first Captain America movie and Brandon Fraser's Mummy films? Really? Just what the hell does that even mean? Now, as I said, these are rumors and they should be taken with a grain of salt. But when you add all the Batman hoopla going around these past few days, well, it's hard not to wonder if some of it just might be true. One thing we do know for sure, the Batman 2 did get pushed back another full year to 2027. The rest is speculation based on what others have supposedly said. And I don't know about you all, but it just confuses the hell right out of me. Well, what are your thoughts? Is this all just part of the plan to move Pattinson on over to the DCU? Do you think Brave and the Bold is really postponed? And if so, why? And finally, how do you think Matt Reeves feels about all this, if it's true? I still don't believe that he'd want to do it at all. Feel free to leave any comments that you may have in the section down below. And if you like today's show, well, why don't you reach on over and hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. As always, thanks for stopping by. God bless and socks out.